Welcome back, everybody, to the New Orleans Saints franchise on Madden 24. We've got the preseason today that'll take us into Season 5 of the franchise. This was a very important offseason for us to shore up some of our weaknesses, and we shored up nearly all of them. I love how we upgraded the defense, which I think was the biggest concern, as we spent early picks on defensive tackle Joe Richards, a player with a very high ceiling that should help us have a stronger interior defensive line presence. And then, because this was such a strong safety class, I targeted and drafted Chad Binns with our second pick. He could be a safety of the future and a starting slot corner right away. We also took linebacker Aaron Kindley, kind of moving on from James Bolden and getting a linebacker that better fits what I want for this team. And then, not to mention the veteran additions. We brought in Vita Vea on a one-year deal, removing him from the Tampa Bay defensive line and shoring ours up with a proven quality veteran. We also spent a pick, our second rounder, in the trade for Montez Sweat. Sweat is only on a one-year deal, but we're going to get a chance to see this defense now with some serious upgrades. It was the offense that didn't see as much attention. We did add Ronnie Stanley in free agency, and that is a major move. But we'll see if the interior is better with Trevor Penning now moving inside the guard. I wanted to see him and Will Freeze compete for that starting guard spot. The interior offensive line was a problem last year. It caused a lot of issues, and that really hasn't been addressed the way I had planned going into the offseason. So if we still need to make a move, then we'll see down the road if we're able to address one of those spots. But I do like the team going into year 5, and I think after 3 years of missing the playoffs, we are prepared to hopefully make a return. But I know there's a lot to prove after the last 3 years and the way those seasons have gone out of control. So let's go through the preseason and talk about what I think is important heading into the season. And by the way, our first preseason game happens to be our Week 1 opponent, the Houston Texans. First, getting to see this new starting defense, and I really want to see us get more consistent pressure on the quarterback and stop the run with a lot more authority. Here's a second down where unblocked Montez Sweat makes the play. He's got way too much athleticism to give him a free run at a running back like that. And then on the third down, Sweat hits C.J. Stroud, jars the ball free. That's a pretty good first impression for the biggest move we made in the offseason. Houston later in the first quarter. C.J. Stroud knocked away by Tommy Tomlinson, coming off a great year, but hopefully he can contribute to more turnovers this season. And then Sweat applies some more pressure, and the Texans' offense could not get established early. We go to our offense. Blake Westbrook, now entering his second season, had a lot of ups and downs as a rookie and is intercepted. On the hit, it was dropped right into the hands of former Saint Brian Bresee. So be prepared for that revenge game in Week 1. Again with the Saints defense, first down and blitzing C.J. Stroud. He goes down. I do want to still attack a lot, blitz a lot of our linebackers and safeties, but I really want to see who ends up being that second edge rusher opposite Sweat. There's so much competition. Could be Beard, could be Houston, could be many players. Early in this game, it was dominated up front by the front fours. Brian Bresee now picks up the sack that ended that drive. And already now we have the backups in the game. And one player you'll see a lot in these clips is number 50 linebacker Aaron Kindley. He's got great athleticism, range, some cover skill. He stood out pretty easily. But the Texans took a quarterback this year, C.J. Stroud's backup, Marco Dowling, to the end zone. Touchdown. Dowling is a hidden development quarterback who may not get a chance because Houston happened to be the team that took him. David Mayweather in the game now for New Orleans, tossing wide to Barry Skelton. Still want to work him more into the offense, was used sparingly a year ago. And we had some competition for the 4th and 5th receiver spots. That is Morgan Logan, who had a couple highlights a couple preseasons ago. And the backup tight end, how about Eddie Lovelock breaking 2 tackles and getting solid yardage. 3rd and 1, we go to Skelton, who isn't going to break too many tackles. I really want to use him mostly on outside runs and in the passing game. Mayweather, that's a nice throw, and Antoine Priestley makes the catch. Priestley was the star of last year's preseason. And to cap things off, good block by Lovelock and a touchdown run for one of our free agent pickups, Rachaad White, who is essentially replacing Kendre Miller as the second running back. Texans ball, and they start to pick on the safety Chad Binns here a little bit. Wanted to see him get a lot of playing time. He wears number 25. Here in a deep safety roll, not able to contain the outside, and the pass is given up. Houston takes it down into the red zone, and that pass gets batted away by Tyrell Stoudemire. Definitely a fan favorite with all of you in the comments section. This drive comes to an end with a Jamal Smith sack. We were blitzing these guys all over the place. Taking the ball back here, 3rd quarter, and Antoine Priestley bouncing off defenders and getting the first down yardage. He would be fine after this little injury scare. Go with the run here, Rachaad White. And the blocking giving him holes to work with. First down there. I felt good about his athleticism, change of direction. Then we try to pass over the middle. Eddie Lovelock, not really proficient in that area there with all the traffic. But we would get a touchdown laid in downfield to Morgan Logan. Logan is a 24-year-old receiver now in his 3rd season out of Charleston Southern. But why don't we talk about one of our best UDFA pickups here. This is punter Lamar Whitworth. Star development, 77 overall, 99 kick power. Lamar Whitworth pins the Texans at the 5. More on him later. Texans ball, and Joe Richards makes a tackle in what was otherwise a pretty quiet preseason for him. Here is Rachaad White breaking out the right side. Getting a chance to really show what he can do in limited touches. Felt very good about his role going forward. Here we got Mayweather rolling left and throwing the tough pass to Eddie Lovelock. Here in preseason, I did work on a lot of the stuff that I tend to have trouble with and try to make guys throw difficult passes. Now, Mayweather is an impressive quarterback, but the consistency isn't always there on the higher degree difficulty throws. So we have to punt. Lamar Whitworth again, and by the way, I love punting from this camera angle. Pins them out at the 11 that time. Texans later, and the pressure gets to Dowling. That was James Houston who knocked the football out. Good to see him get into the backfield. And then over the top, and Charlie Jones runs through this defense right by Kindley and Sergio Rhodes, the backup safety. Those are the kinds of plays we're not typically allowing with our starters. Let's go back to preseason sensation Lamar Whitworth. So here, this is just him punting from the 25. So like after a 3-and-out, a little over 50 yards in the air. That field position impact can be very valuable. Marco Dowling again for Charlie Jones. Chad Binns couldn't make a play on it. He had some difficult moments here in his first preseason game. And Charlie Jones looked like a star. We're in the 4th quarter. Mayweather for Tito Hernandez, who puts the ball on the ground. Tito, a 7th-round pick, our final selection of the draft. The Texans do get the ball back, and in the backfield is Justin Medlock, who now is really going to have to earn playing time going forward. We have brought in guys because his development has been slow. Really nice play there by Aaron Kinley to knock Houston backwards. But we cannot stop Dowling. He scores again and has quite the day in his preseason debut. Dowling, by the way, a 72 overall. We got a little more at the offense. Mayweather for Antoine Priestley. There are those play-action passes we like so much. We go to Rachaad White, and he'll cut this outside and accelerates all the way to the end zone. Over 100 yards in this game for Rachaad White. A performance that I didn't see coming, but locked up that RB2 role with ease. We did lose this first game to Houston, but I felt very good about how our defense handled the couple possessions they had against their starters, and the defensive line does look far improved. But let's make our way on to preseason game 2, where we face another very good quarterback and offense with the Buffalo Bills. Josh Allen and the Bills at our 22-yard line. Here's Allen under pressure and sacked by Montez Sweat. Alrighty, this is looking like a terrific move for us. And on third down, he throws it right to the rookie. It's picked off by Chad Binns. I really want to see us take the ball away more this year. It's one of those things that's been sorely missing throughout this franchise. And Binns is right there playing the slot. He has great athleticism. I think he's going to grow with that role throughout the year and be a very good player. Josh Allen rolling outside the pocket later and having trouble catching up to him. 3 guys missed tackles. It's a 23-yard run. Nothing to learn from there besides like stopping Josh Allen is tough. We fail again, and he nearly gets picked off by Tommy Tomlinson. I'm not sure how we didn't sack him there. Here's third down with pressure off the edge. Perfect throw inside the 5. Montrell Williams really broke out for the Bills last year. And after a play action, we're able to sack Allen again. Vita Vea gets into the backfield. But they back up for 3rd and goal. And Williams beats Tomlinson again. Tommy can have trouble there in short areas and on certain routes. He will give up some scores, but hopefully he can have another impactful year. With our offense now, it is Jadarius Roby coming off that 1,200-yard season last year. No need to see too much of him. Here is a lob downfield, and it's caught by Chris Olave. I do want to see if Westbrook can hit throws like that with more regularity. He needs to become more consistent in year 2. And throughout preseason, he still had a lot of the same misses that occurred last season. Let's go back with our defense later. Here's a run, and Vita Vea in on the stop with Jeremiah Owusu-Koramoah. On the second down play, we bring Julian Love. If this secondary can play as well as I think they can, I'll be blitzing an awful lot, trusting them to get it done with one less guy in coverage. We look good against Houston. Our defense looked good against the Bills as well. Here's the offense now, looking for some highlights from them. Kevin Blackwell on the reception. That goes for a first down. Heading to the air and setting up a screen for Rachaad White. I targeted him because of that pass-catching skill, and I think he can be a solid number 2. And pre-snap here, I knew we'd likely have a chance with Pierman deep, but those overthrows got to get corrected. Westbrook has missed a lot of those throws. I love the way our secondary battled against these receivers. They had Stephon Diggs in the slot, leaving Gabe Davis on the outside, Montrell Williams. Both of our starting corners there able to knock a pass away from Davis. And then to Diggs over the middle. He hangs on to this one. But just want to make every play tough and not give them a lot of free completions. That's what we do here. Chad Binns drills Diggs. That falls incomplete, forcing the Bills to go for it. And the shallow cross is complete to Williams. So Josh Allen just 7 of 13 to this point. Tries to go downfield. A little underthrown there, allowing Binns to break up another one for Diggs. So after a rough first preseason game, Binns much better in his second. And we end up here with very little time to go in the first half, but good toss outside to Kevin Blackwell. I really want to expand his role more this year. I think he needs to be used more on these short throws. I want to see him run some guys over and have more easy completions. Trying to get set up here for a field goal. It's a perfect throw from Westbrook to Chris Olave. I like those outside throws on this drive. It would lead to a field goal, and then we try a little onside kick. I always think, why not, if there's exactly 1 second on the clock? We actually end up recovering it, which gives us a chance to throw it to the end zone one more time. And Westbrook certainly has a strong arm, and it gets caught perfectly by Tre'Davious White for the interception. We had trouble getting good drives established against these starting defenses. That was definitely an issue. The Bills with their backups in the second half, and there's a familiar face. Eric Whiteside, who was with us in preseason a couple years ago, spent some time on the active roster, but is now in Buffalo. David Mayweather back in the game, and there is Eddie Lovelock. Nice move upfield, getting some extra yardage. I thought Lovelock looked really good here in the preseason. And then Mayweather drops one in the bucket to Tito Hernandez. As a 7th-round pick, I think Tito has a chance to one day be a contributor in that A.T. Perry kind of mold. Then we go to Morgan Logan on the crossing pattern. He's able to turn that into a nice first down. It was hard to separate the receivers there on the bottom of the depth chart because they all seem to make good plays. This one airmailed for Hernandez, ends up intercepted at the 34-yard line. So we're going to jump ahead now, and Malik Willis taking the Bills downfield, throwing one, back of the end zone. It is caught behind Alex Sharp. That's one of those where I'm like, there's no way. But, in fact, there is a way. That's a clean touchdown catch. Alex Sharp had a tough preseason. He didn't make a lot of plays, and a fair amount were made against him. Here's a look at Lamar Whitworth. This is more punter highlights than I've ever given you guys, with a little wind at his back. That's how easily he can flip the field. Bills have it here in the fourth quarter, and again chasing down the running back is Aaron Kindley. I was very impressed with him in run defense. Malik Willis under pressure. We bring him down. Spencer Douglas and Paul Redmond combined on that one. Douglas, a preseason standout last year. 1st and 10. Later now, it's Hayward. Chester Hayward, who brings down Willis. I like Hayward because his finesse moves are even higher than Juan Beard's. Nice throw and catch. We got Antoine Priestley. There aren't as many offensive highlights here in this one. We didn't really have a great 3 games in the preseason, as Priestley makes a nice catch and run. 91 speed, 91 acceleration. He can definitely run a little bit. And that's going to be it for preseason game 2. I have a lot of the same takeaways. I'm excited about our defense and the improvements we've made there, but the offense didn't get a lot going. I think the interior is getting beat up a little bit, and we were trying so many like downfield throws and kind of testing out the accuracy a bit on Westbrook. But the preseason standout storyline is here. And this year, it's going to be Johnny Fenderson, now the second-year safety. And I thought Fenderson had good moments last year, did not secure any interceptions, but was a pretty solid rookie. And now gets +5 zone coverage, bringing him up to 85. Now let's go through our last preseason game. This is against the New York Jets. We won't face them this year, but we will face the Texans in Week 1, the Bills in Week 5. Westbrook, there's Olave on the crossing route. We throw that one a lot. Really wanted to focus in on this first drive here. Westbrook tries to thread it to Garrett Wilson. Has him get hit on the play, and he can't hold on to it against his former team. But on third down, right back to him, and this time he holds on first down at the 41. Here we go with the play action. Westbrook floats out to the right, fires a dart for Chris Olave at the 12. He did make some impressive throws like that one. We run downhill with Roby, dragging defenders inside the 5. Then try to cap it off here to Kevin Blackwell, and he makes a good play. Just can't quite get into the end zone. So we go 2 plays later to Jadarius Roby. That's a really good drive for our Saints. Ryan Ramczyk does get hurt on this play, but thankfully it was not a serious injury. But we didn't force him to stay in. How would our defense look against the Jets offense? In Tua Tagovailoa, pressured and sacked again. James Houston had a very good preseason, led us in sacks. Westbrook back at it, throwing outside to Chris Olave. I did start to make some rotations here. You'll notice John Waters is in there, and he bends this run back to the left. A chance for him to stick on this team. Then on second down, Westbrook downfield, and it's intercepted. Thrown behind Chris Olave just a little bit. Turns into 6 the other way. I felt pretty good about that one. But you've got to lead the receiver further to the sideline. And that accuracy of Westbrook has to be something that I try to keep under control. As hard as that can be. Kevin Blackwell had a very productive preseason. I'd like to emphasize him more in the passing game. The volume wasn't there a year ago. The big plays were, but he can do so much more than get open downfield. He can be much more active in this offense. Here's John Waters running over Sauce Gardner. Waters trying to make the roster, and that's a play you don't forget about. We take it down to the 22. Now Westbrook facing heavy pressure. I'm just like, I want to hit that comeback to Olave, even if we shouldn't throw it there. That one gets intercepted. Hopefully not doing those during the regular season. Jets football now. They have it 3rd and 4. Tua hit by Sweat. None of the starting quarterbacks look comfortable facing this pass rush, and Montez Sweat was the big reason why. Here's our offense later on, and it's lobbed downfield to K-Dot. The free agent pickup from Tampa. Which one? You know, one of the 4 we brought in. Jets have it later. Down goes Tua. James Houston. He might get those early snaps opposite Sweat with how he played in preseason. 3rd and 10 for Tua. Again, he felt that rush. Doesn't feel good enough about anything to test it downfield. Here are the Saints later with the ball. 3rd and 11. That gets intercepted by Simon Carter. And that one actually did surprise me a little bit. I saw the blitz there, and usually the safety isn't going to make a play this impressive. But Carter is one of the better players that's been drafted here in the franchise. Able to get outside there and jump the pass. Carter, by the way, is an 88 overall superstar. I was kind of just slinging it all over the field. I wanted to force the ball to certain guys and, you know, want to see if Westbrook can make some of these throws accurately or not. The stats aren't going to be good. Tomlinson, maybe we got to switch out the gloves or something because he just still can't secure an interception. Tua, back at Tomlinson. That one's caught inside the 5. And they cap it off with Marquise Jones. That's a generous catch call right there. Come on now. It is a Jets touchdown. Jets have it again later. They had a couple pick sixes, so their points look good. They did have more success against us than the Bills and Texans, which I wouldn't have guessed. But Tua eventually settled things down, and he was throwing good balls. They weren't really racking up a lot of yards, but they were at least more consistent than the other teams. Mecole Hardman gets Paulson Adebo here a couple times. And they bring it down to the 8. It is a tackle for Vita Vea. They had trouble getting the run game going. But Marquise Jones, he makes his 2nd touchdown catch of the game. And by the way, I just went and changed Tommy Tomlinson's gloves. I'll do anything to get this guy an interception at this stage. David Mayweather in the game. And Mayweather launches it for Cade Otton downfield. Didn't really get a ton of looks at Otton, but looked good in the playing time he had. I thought all three of our tight ends were pretty impressive. Then he throws an accurate one at Chris Olave. I threw a lot of these timing routes I tend to have trouble with just because it's a good time to work on it. And then we had Gary Doyle here in the game. He's someone who had a good game against us, and I saw he was available once, and I signed him. We get Pierman down inside the one, so a couple nice timing plays here in rhythm with Mayweather, and a touchdown. Doyle is in. I also signed an undrafted quarterback, and this is Ben Long. And he did not end up making the roster. He ended up on the practice squad. But there were some moments from Long that were pretty fun. Here's Long on a 4th and 16. Eddie Lovelock, first down, gain of 25. Long has a solid arm, 91 throw power. Threw it to the wrong guy here. That's not his fault, but that one's knocked down. 80 short accuracy, and he has some speed. There's Lovelock again. He continues to make plays. Here we got a 2nd down. Long again for Lovelock. These two have a connection. And here, 9 yards out. Long out of the pocket. He's going to throw it. End zone, and caught by Barry Skelton. How about that? The highlight of preseason. Barry Skelton back of the end zone. That was pretty electric right there. Touchdown, Saints. Almost done. Jets facing pressure. Nearly intercepted by rookie safety George Adams. On 3rd down, Douglas in the backfield brings down the quarterback Levi Silver. And we get it back for Ben Long, who has good speed. Definitely an interesting quarterback to have on the practice squad, or even a backup, but we didn't have the roster spot for him. Long outside the pocket, just too far for the undrafted Dom Jackson. And the final play of preseason, it's a sack for George Adams, and that's a wrap on preseason. Overall, I was really happy with the play of our defense. We eventually gave up some drives against the Jets, but they really had to be earned, and we weren't giving up big plays or very consistent conversions. The quarterbacks did not fare well against our defense. Montez Sweat already looks like he's going to be an impact player for us. I also was really happy with the play of Aaron Kinley. I didn't start him in preseason, but he will be starting when the games start to count. I do have concerns about the interior offensive line still. It's the one spot we didn't address the way I had wanted to, and even if we had been able to draft a good guard, I still think that's an area that's going to get beat up a little bit. We don't have the best rated center or guards. So I'll keep my eyes out for trade opportunities if that's what's needed. I did like the play of our tight ends a lot, and Kevin Blackwell, I really want to get him a lot more volume this year. And hopefully with Blake Westbrook, we're able to find more consistency than we did a year ago. We do have one trade here, as we did trade punter Jack Becker to the Packers in a little pick swap as we turn a 6th round pick into a 5. We're moving forward with our undrafted punter, Lamar Whitworth. And these are the final cuts. The main players that we ended up releasing: 7th round pick Terry Stewart, he goes to the practice squad. 5th rounder William Hardy. We just didn't really have room for another backup center if he wasn't going to show more upside than Julian Ash. But overall, I'm really excited for this season. I'm fired up to get these games played, and week 1 is going to be a return to those single game episodes, and this year, hopefully I can put together a really solid experience. It was a change last year having those multi-game episodes, but I think that it's going to be better for the series long term if I mix together the one-game experiences, the multi-game episodes, and focus on telling the best story with the team. And if I can do it in less time, even better. We are ahead of schedule compared to the Titans franchise by about a month. Last year, it was early June, I got the preseason video for Year 5 up in that series. I'd love to know your thoughts on the team going into this year. We are going to be playing those 3 hidden dev rookies a lot. I imagine our defense will grow throughout the year, and hopefully we can get off to a strong start on both sides of the ball. This is a really talented team, and I'm hoping that this is the year it all breaks out for us. Aaron Kinley might not play a ton early on. I have him in the base defense, but not in the sub package because I'd like to upgrade his coverage a little bit more. But I can mix him in there and see if it ends up working out. But that is the team going into Year 5. I don't think there are a lot of holes, and some of our weaker areas might get better with experience. Guys like Blake Westbrook can become more consistent. The defensive line is still very young outside of Sweat and Vita Vea, so there could be someone that breaks out there. Then we have 2 young safeties, a young linebacker. I want to see who ends up having a big year for us. I'm excited about this season a lot. And yes, the punter, Lamar Whitworth. I think that special teams will be even better this season. These are the sliders we have going into this year. I have just a couple changes from the set that was used throughout Year 4. I have user tackling up to 50 and CPU pass block down 1 to 34 and down, I think, 3 for run blocking to 12, as I try to balance out the trench play there and try to make ratings matter to the best that I can. Can be tough sometimes on All Madden. And then speed threshold down to 50. That's kind of the slider that Matt 10 and I have been looking at to handle a lot of things in coverage, and I've liked the feel of 50 so far. I tinkered with that in preseason. And just to highlight how critical this year is, the list of free agents for us is deep. And not all these players want to come back. So I did band-aid this roster in free agency with 1-year deals and the trade for Montez Sweat. But at the end of the day, we're going to really need the youth on this team to develop, or the future beyond this season could be really tricky. I feel like I've just kind of pieced together a team I like a lot, and it might not even be able to be around for next season. We'll have to see how the year unfolds. But as I already think a step ahead to the next year's draft, I look at where this class is strong. I'm focusing on the offensive tackles, Stanley and Ramczyk. That's our oldest position group, and it's a really good class. And then we also have a cornerback focus because it's a very good corner class as well. I've really focused on those 2 spots with our scouting. But hopefully we can spend more time talking about this team having success than how we're going to approach the next offseason. Thank you all for watching today's episode. I hope you're excited for Year 5 and hopefully some fun days to come in the Saints franchise. But who knows what the future holds. Please leave a like if you enjoyed the video and subscribe to the channel. What are your thoughts on the team and your expectations for Year 5? I'll have that next video coming your way shortly, a 1-game video against the Texans for Week 1, and I will see you all then. Have a great day, everybody.